Mr. Matt Lloyd. Now this man is bad to the bone. Takes number 2 in the futuristic marketing launch with over $300,000 in sales. First time he ever really went big like that, and he comes out just crushing it. In the last 12 months, this young man has become one of the fastest growing entrepreneurs in this industry. The beginning of January 2011, he earned $900 that month in his business. Last month, he cleared $315,000. He's getting ready to come up and teach you exactly how he did it. Are you guys excited for that? Are you excited for that? Then can we make a ton of noise to welcome up the one and only Matt Lloyd? Give it up, my friends. Get on up here, buddy.
Thank you, everybody. It's on? Okay, perfect. Well, first of all, I got to thank Jonathan Budd, who, without Jonathan, I probably wouldn't be here tonight. Literally, he was the one who got my momentum started in this industry. And I can't see half of you because of the fog, but I know there's quite a few of you. This is definitely the biggest crowd I've spoken in front of. What I want to share with you tonight, we have an hour and 15 minutes, so I'm going to have to talk very, very fast. I have about 90 slides I've got to get through. And if you've ever been on one of my webinars, they can drag on for like 4 hours, so I'm going to talk very quickly. I want to show you what actually goes into building a business that's doing over $300,000 per month. How do you do that? How do you scale that quickly? How do you do that in 14 months? That's what I want to show you tonight. We're going to move very fast. You're going to get a lot of value. You're going to want to take a lot of notes. But this is basically what I want to share with you. So, 18 months ago, we're doing about $700 per month total in my business. Last month, $315,000 after refunds and everything. That's cash collected. What exactly happened? How is that possible? I want to walk you through step by step exactly what that looked like. This business really comes down to making offers, how well you can put together offers and make irresistible offers to the marketplace. I want to show you an example of an offer that has done $1,050,000 so far in my own business, and we're going to deconstruct it so you can see why it's so successful, and you can model it in your own business, really. Month after month, we keep on scaling and we keep on breaking our income records. Literally, like almost every single month, we will beat the last month. There's one thing that I do that every one of you could be doing, most of you aren't doing, that allows me to do that. I'm going to tell you what that one thing is. And I promise you, if you go home after this and you start implementing this one thing, your income will magically go up. It's almost like magic. What else? I'm going to show you how the numbers break down. So if you've ever wondered, what does $1 million business actually look like? You know, how many products are you actually selling? What different price points? I'm going to show you exactly what it does look like in reality. Half of my income comes from one source that you're probably not using. I'm going to show you what that is. Most people in our industry, they just completely ignore it. It's where half of my money comes from. And last of all, our plan is to scale to a $20 million company by the end of 2013. We're going to do it. It's not just a fantasy or an idea. We're going to do it. And I'm going to show you exactly how. So let's begin. Who here was at Unstoppable Millionaire Part 1? Yeah! If you could raise your hand. I can barely see you, but there's like 50 of you here, I think. I don't know if you remember it, but that was actually the first time I had ever been on stage. I'm a little nervous now. I'm okay. But back then I was terrified. Like when Jonathan asked me to speak on stage for about 2 months, every time I would drive to the office, I was practicing in my iPhone recorder my talk. I was so nervous about it. And that was my first time on stage. And I was doing okay at that point. My business was doing okay. $5,000 or $10,000 a month, whatever. I was supporting myself, but it wasn't doing anything like it is today. So what exactly happened? Well, this is where we were. I don't know the exact date of Unstoppable Millionaire. Maybe someone does and they can shout it out. But it was about 14 or 15 months ago. And this is around where we were. All right, you'll see this is what my business looked like. December 2011, I had my first $45,000 a month. I get pretty excited by that. I think, well, surely these can't go on. That's like as good as it's going to get. After that, we keep on climbing. May 2012, we crossed $120,000. I start getting pretty excited at that point. I've got some momentum behind me, but it keeps on going. We actually have one or two bad months where we only do 50,000 or so, but then we step it back up. We cross $250,000 a month and then $300,000 a month. Now, I'm not showing you this to stand up here and talk myself up, because if you've met me, I'm a very ordinary guy. There's nothing I've got that each of you don't have. But I'm showing you this because I want you to see that it's possible. I guarantee, I don't know how many people we have here tonight, but I don't know, maybe there's 450 or so. There will be people in this crowd who 1 year from now, your business, you won't even believe it. It will pick up some momentum. You'll be clearing $100,000 months, and it will just take off. Okay, I promise you there will be people in this room 1 year from now, and you'll be doing it. However, I also understand that a lot of you might have came to this event and you don't necessarily have a lot of results up until this point. Maybe you're here and maybe you're sharing a room with several others because that's the only way that you could be here. And if that's you, I've been there. That's what I was doing throughout 2010. I would get to the events, I could barely afford it, but I would share with like 3 or 4 others. I would do what I needed to do to be there. And so what I'm saying to you is, if up until this point you've spent the last few years and you haven't had results yet, it's perfectly okay. My history is a series of business ventures that haven't done so well. And I want to walk you through just a few of them. This was my very first business. I started this when I was 9 years old. So I'm the youngest of 4 kids. I grew up on a farm in the outback of Australia. The local town at that time when I was 9 reached a population boom of about 35 people. I went to a primary school. The primary school, when I was about year 2, reached a height of about 52 kids. Things were going well for Lake Valley. And I lived outside of the town on this main road. And when I say a main road, I mean it actually had real bitumen on it. That was rare. Like most of the roads were gravel roads. And every 2 minutes or so, a car would drive by. This was like a highway out where in this area. Anyway, so me and my brother, I'm 9 years old, and my older brother, he's like 11, and we decided to start our own little potato shop, selling potatoes. So what we do is we get 2 pieces of tin and we spray paint on each one, Spuds for sale. And we put one 1 mile up the side of the road, this way. There's our mailbox, and then we have another piece of tin, Spuds for sale. And so the cars driving by, they see this sign, and they see these 2 little kids standing next to an esky, little bags of potatoes. And I still remember the very first day, someone actually stopped and they pulled into the driveway and they actually brought a bag of potatoes. And they paid me like $3. And that day we got 3 customers and we made about $10. And something magical happened. Like as a kid I realized, okay, I can actually create my own financial results. So if you do have kids, I mean, I don't have kids myself, but if you do have kids, I think one of the best gifts that you can give to them is to encourage entrepreneurship. If they want to start a lemonade stand, really encourage that, because I probably wouldn't be here if this wasn't encouraged when I was a little kid. My next business. Some of you may hate me for this, but I had another photo that I was going to share. Lucky I didn't show the other photo. But I used to hunt kangaroos. Kangaroos, where I live, are a pest. They knock down all the crops, all the fences and everything like that. And the tourists would buy the furs. So I started a business selling kangaroo furs. Didn't last long, and just so you know, I don't do that anymore. When I was younger, I used to, but now I've developed a conscience. My next business, marron. Marron are like lobsters, and you put them in your farm dams. So my mum, she went and brought like 500 marron in this crate, little baby marron. And what my goal was, I wanted to breed them in this dam and then sell them to the other farmers for like food and stuff like that. They all died. They all died. The dam was too cold. We only ever caught one, literally one. I'm not even kidding you. They all died. Now, my next business after that, this is when I actually started getting some results. It's called Home Helpers. I went to university, and this is an older photo, and I started this little business called Home Helpers, where I would garden and I would mow lawns, I would clean houses, bathrooms, toilets. It wasn't a very nice job, but I would do it. And you know, throughout university, I went to university and I dropped out in my 4th year to do this whole online business thing. But I was doing finance, and I was going to be like some investment banker. That was my goal. And all the other students around me, they'd complain about how tough it is to be a student, and they would accept that if you're a student, you're struggling, you're poor. Whereas what I did is I went and printed up these flyers, and I went and handed them out in my local area. Before I knew it, I had more work than I could handle. I literally got referrals. If I wasn't studying, I was working. And what I would do, I would go and do 3 hours, right? Pulling up weeds, whatever I did. And I would get a $50 note usually. They would pay me cash. Regardless of how much I got, I would then go to the bank that same day. I would do this 4 or 5 times a week, and I would make a deposit. So literally, if I had $5 in my wallet, I would walk into the bank and I would say, can I deposit this $5? So for about 5 years, I had this one bank account, and if you looked at the bank statement, you would see deposit or credit. You would not see one single debit. And within about 5 years, I'd saved up about $70,000. So I'm walking around university, everyone's complaining about how broke they are, and I've got $70,000 in the bank. And I understood from a young age that wealth, I could create wealth, right? I could determine my own financial outcome. But there was a slight problem. 2008, I set myself a target. I wanted to have a net worth of $100,000 by the end of the year. So I printed on a piece of paper, I will have a net worth of $100,000 by the end of this year. I will have a net worth of $100,000 by the end of this year. Literally lines and lines of it. And I printed off pages, and what I did is I stuck them all over the walls, even on the roof above my bed. So when I would wake up, I would see this was my goal. And it got to about September of that year. I've got $70,000 in the bank. I need to make another $30,000 by the end of the year. And I wasn't going to do it making, $15 per hour. I needed a new business model. So I go online, right? Like probably most of you, I go to Google and I type in something like make money online. I respond to an ad, put in my phone number. Some guy calls me back. I invest $2,000 into a business, and now I'm in this whole direct sales industry or network marketing. I didn't even know what network marketing was at the time. Now, shortly after that, I go to my first event, and they tell me, the founders, they're up there on stage, and they're telling me that if you want to make the big bucks in this company, you've got to go all in. You've got to invest another $24,000 US. Remember this time, this was when the whole economy went down the toilet, right? Things went really bad. So the exchange rate was really bad. If I made that same investment today, it would cost me about 23,000 Australian. But at the time, it ended up costing me $38,000 Australian. A big chunk of change. But I thought to myself, well, look, I've got a pretty good track record. I've had kangaroo fur businesses, marron farms. I can do this thing. So I invest, and for the next 9 months, I did not get a single sale. I dropped out of university. I'm in my 4th year. I'm 1 year away from graduating. And I do have a fairly promising career in investment banking. My grades were pretty good. But I walk out from that and I decided to go full-time into my online business, even though up until that point it cost me well over 40 grand and I'm yet to make a single dollar. Like literally I have not made a single dollar. And I'm working full-time in this business too. Full-time. I quit everything. My whole gardening business, I'm just working full-time in this. But I kept at it. And September 2009, 9 months later, I got my first sale. My very first affiliate commission, I don't know if Tim Irway is here, the CEO of Magnetic Sponsoring, but my first affiliate commission was Magnetic Sponsoring. I promoted their ebook and I got a couple of $10 commissions. This wasn't that long ago. This was only really a couple of years ago. It feels like it was a lifetime ago, but it really wasn't. And see guys, I got a little bit of results behind me and I kept on going. Late 2010, I hear about this guy called Jonathan Budd, and I saw some video of him on YouTube, and he seemed like a pretty kind of out there guy, and I thought, well, I like this launch, I'm going to promote it. I promote Get Traffic, and somehow I come 10th in the whole thing, and I totally surprised myself. My first big success promoting a launch as an affiliate. Jonathan emails me, and at the time, I remember getting the email, it's like 5:30 a.m. in the morning. I don't know why I was up at that time, but I see the email, and I was shocked. I was like starstruck. And I was like, oh my God, Jonathan Budd. And I replied back and I made a really big deal about it. But I was excited. And then what I did, guys, I went on a product creation rampage. I just shut everything off and I said I'm going to churn out a whole bunch of new products. And for about half a year, I just focused on product creation. I promoted my email marketing empire, a course on email marketing, right? So when you create your first product, you do it from experience. You've got, every single one of you, you've got experience in some aspect of internet marketing that you can create a product around. And that's what I did. That was my first product. How to build a funded proposal. So I was in direct sales and I'd learned how to build a sales funnel. And I thought, well, surely other people would like to know how to do that. So I made like an 8-webinar series on how to do that, and so on and so forth. Before I knew it, I've now got 4 products. I get invited to speak at my first conference, right? So you see how this happens. You get a little bit of momentum behind you, and if you want to get the attention of someone who's at the next level, like Jonathan was for me back then, you just simply get them results. Promote them in a launch, get them results. That's what I did. So Jonathan emails me one day. It's kind of funny. There were 3 people in the email conversation, and he says, do you two want to speak at my event? And I reply back in a private message, and I'm like, Jonathan, you weren't talking about me, right? You were talking about those other 2 people. It's like, no, man, I was actually talking about you. And my heart starts speeding up. This is like 3 months prior to this event. So it was a really big deal, but I thought, well, all right, I want to get to the next level, I'm going to do it. So I do. I go to this event, I speak, and guys, this is when everything changed. See, I had a little bit of momentum behind me, but this is what would take us to our first $1 million pretty quickly. I'd created these 4 programs, and I'd invested hundreds of hours of my time into creating them. And if you want to make a lot of money in this business, in our niche, it's quite simple, right? You find out what do people dislike about this business? What do they not like doing? Most people don't like creating products. They've never done it before, or they don't have the time. It's very time consuming. So what I did is I came along and I said, look, you don't have to do that anymore. You can license my products. And if you sell any one of these 4 products, I will pay you 90% commissions. And people loved it. People started investing in my MOB license rights program. By the way, MOB stands for My Online Business Empire. That's the name of my business, My Online Business Empire. And it actually worked. People started making sales with this and getting results. I can stand up here all day long and tell you about how great it is, or I can make some videos and tell the market, look, you should really invest in the mobile license rates program. But at the end of the day, if it's between me saying that and a whole bunch of other people saying it, you're going to believe those other people, right? So as you build your business, make sure you get really good testimonials. They are worth their weight in gold. And I started getting a lot. Ordinary people started making money with a system that I had created. And more. Literally, I have hundreds of videos of people. Most of these people aren't gurus. Most of them have never made commissions before, and they actually started getting results. So people started hearing about this, and they started thinking, okay, I'm going to learn more about this MOB license rates program. I did my first event in May 2012. Who here's done an event? Like not a whole lot of people, right? And I hadn't done one either, but I thought, okay, in order to get to the next level, I've got to do an event. So I'm terrified of doing an event because public speaking isn't exactly my forte. It's not something that I look forward to. But I decided, okay, I'm going to do my first event, and I've got two choices. I can set a deadline for about 4 weeks away and just do it, not having the slightest idea of what I'm doing. Or I can set the deadline, set the date for like 3 months from now and really plan it out. And I decided, what the hell, I'm just going to go for it and I'm going to see what happens. So we aim to fill this room, 50 people, $1,000 each. We do just that. First event is in San Diego. I have no idea what I'm doing. I didn't know anything about AV or getting stages or finding hotels to do events. So for 3 days, I think this was like the most stressful 3 days. If you've ever done an event, you'll know what that first one's like. But I do the first event. September, I do the second. Who here was at Add the Nitrous? Yeah, quite a few of you. Good. So that was my second event. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you is it's like, this is all happening right now. This didn't happen 5 years ago. I'm going through this right now and I'm learning and discovering it. But you probably can't see that, but this is what happened over 14 months. You can see, like, we weren't doing much. We were only doing $700 or so in July 2011. And the numbers, just look at the numbers, how they went up. Went to 4,000, 8,000, 24,000, back to 13.5. And it just kept on going. Again, the reason why I'm showing you this is so you know this is actually possible. This can happen. This can happen in a very short amount of time once you get those leverage points right. Now, there's two things that will keep that from ever happening to you, right? And 99% of our industry do not really go anywhere because of these two things. The first one is perfectionism. We want to get everything perfect, right? So in creating that first product, you want to get it perfect. So you want to go and study and buy other information products and learn about, everything you can on that topic. You want to get it all perfect and you don't do anything. Your business doesn't move forwards. I think I was listening to some audio training by Mark Hoverson before, and he said, perfection equals poverty. And I always remember hearing that. Perfection equals poverty. I spent the first 3 years in this business not really getting results because I didn't want to do anything that wasn't perfect. I didn't want to create a product if it wasn't going to be perfect. I did not want to do any event if it wasn't going to be perfect. So I ended up doing nothing. And my business really stayed in the same place, which was making no money. So you've got to get out of that. You've got to let go of being perfect. If you create something like a product and people don't like it, big deal. They're going to refund it. Who cares? Move on, right? I'm not saying that you don't aim to provide good value, but what I am saying is that don't get so hung up on getting everything perfect, because if you do, you're not going to move forwards. And the other one is procrastination. I think that if we had a contest, I would probably win it for the best procrastinator in this room. I am literally like the master at it. I can put stuff off. Ask Jonathan and Catlin organising this event. They didn't get my slides until today, right? Like a few hours ago. And they told me about this 2 months ago. They're like, look, you got to get your slides to us. And I put it off. I just always do it. I'm so good at doing it that my business really struggled. That's why it did struggle for like 3 years. And I don't know if any of you guys struggle with that, maybe I'm the only one, but if you've ever struggled with procrastination, you've got two choices. You can try and change your personality and you can change your character so you don't procrastinate, but that's very, very hard to do. It's very hard to change that. Or you can simply create circumstances in your business where it becomes irrelevant. So let me explain. Let's say you want to launch your first product. Here's how I approach it. I want to launch my first product, and what I do is I will go to gotowebinar.com and I will create a webinar registration page on a particular topic. And I will do that. It'll take me about 15 minutes, and then I will send it out to my entire list. And I'll say, look, I'm going to do a webinar in about 3 days, and this is what I'm going to be teaching you. Now, notice when I hit the send button, I have no clue what the actual content is going to be. And some of you are laughing, but this is literally how I do everything in my business. I'm not even kidding. Like, this is how I have progress in my business. I will announce things long before I even have a clue what I'm doing. But now, guess what? I get 50, 100 people who register for that webinar. Now they're going to show up. And now there's two things that's going to happen. Number one, I'm not going to be prepared and I'm going to look like an idiot, right? I'm going to show up to the webinar and I'm not going to know what I'm talking about. And they're going to think I'm an idiot, I'm unprepared, and I don't want that because I care what people think, right? So the other outcome is that, look, I have this deadline in place. Tonight I'm doing a webinar. I've got 10 hours to go and I'm procrastinated up until this point. But I have to get something done. And if I don't, there's serious consequences. And somehow, magically, I always seem to get something done. This is how you create progress in your business. So if you suffer from procrastination like I do, again, you've got to have those self-imposed deadlines. And if you can do that, literally, like that's how I run my entire life. If I don't have those deadlines, I won't do it. I need it. So that's one good habit to adopt. So, exactly what do you do to go from not making much to making more money than you could probably spend? Let's talk about it. Number one, here is the most important thing. You need to have a $1 million irresistible offer. You need to have an offer that is so irresistible to your market that people find it hard to say no to. And here's the thing, right? If you're going to go and launch a new offer, you've got a couple of choices. You can launch that offer and do a half-assed job of it and see if people buy it. Now, if no one buys it, there's two possible reasons. Number one is you had the wrong audience. Number two is you had a weak offer. So then what? Then you're back to the drawing board and you're going to do a brand new offer that's slightly better. And then you're going to launch it again. Right? But again, it could be the audience or it could be the offer. And you'll spend the next half year screwing around trying to figure out what's the right offer. That's a very slow way of doing it. A much better way of doing it, when you create that first offer, create the very best version you possibly can. You can literally create a better version of it. You create an offer that's so irresistible and offers so much value, and it's such a no-brainer to your market that if people don't buy it and you're promoting it to the right audience, then you know, okay, bad idea, I'm going to go and do something else. Okay, and this will save you a lot of time. Here's an example, right? This one offer, as of tonight, I checked it before I actually came here. I was in my hotel room and I checked it. It's done about $1,075,000 as of today. One single offer in my business. So I think there's some value in me telling you why this is so successful. My main offer is this one here, the MOB license rates offer. And this is the actual offer, and you want to be writing this down because there's a lot of value in knowing what exactly this is and modeling it. If you invest, here's the offer. If you invest $19.97 you can have a whole suite of really valuable, awesome products that you can offer to other people. You can make 90% commissions on those products. And every time you get a sale, Matt's phone team is going to call them back and offer them higher ticket programs on your behalf. And when they get a sale, you're going to get $1,200 commissions put into your pocket without lifting a finger. Why do you think that sells so well? Is that not an irresistible offer? I mean, people see that and they think, well, I love that. I love that. I don't have to go and create the products. I don't have to spend half a year or a year creating all the actual content. I don't have to create the sales funnels. I don't ever have to pick up the phone again and try and sell. Matt's team will do that for me. Most people who buy this, they're getting started. They haven't yet built up credibility around their brand yet. They don't yet have any results. So they can leverage mine. They don't yet have their own high-ticket programs to offer on the back end. So now they can suddenly offer mine. Is it any wonder that this one offer has done over $1 million? Right? That's an irresistible offer. Now, this is definitely something you want to write down on. I first heard this from like John Carlton, I think, and it served me very well. Whenever I sit down to create a new sales webinar or a sales letter, or a new offer really, that's what it is, 3 simple steps. Here's what I've got. Here's what it will do for you. And here's what I want you to do next. So you explain like, look, here's the features and here's how many modules and, you know, all the actual logistics. And then you explain the benefits. Look, here's what it will actually do for you. This will lead you to have a more fulfilling life. More time with your kids, whatever, right? The actual outcomes, the benefits, what they're actually buying it for. And here's what I need you to do next. You always tell them what to do next. You don't rely on them doing it themselves. You have a strong, solid call to action. Click that Add to Cart button and enroll right now. Go to the back of the room and fill out that enrollment form. Like, you tell them what they need to do next. Whenever you create an offer, this is really what it is. Quite simple, that's what it is. So, if you're wondering, what does a $1 million business actually look like? You know, the actual numbers of it. This is not made up. This is actually real life. This is what it looks like. You're going to have a simple front-end product. The purpose of that front-end product is not to make you a whole bunch of money. It's simply to acquire a customer. You see, the purpose of a sale is not to get you a customer, but rather the purpose of a customer... I stuffed that up. I got that around the wrong way. The purpose of a customer is not to get you a sale, but rather the purpose of a sale is to get you a customer. You see, once you have a customer, you should look at that customer as someone that you can continue to provide value to and who will keep on investing with you. We have customers in our database who've invested well over $30,000 in this past year. They started off as $10 buyers. You don't need too many clients and customers who invest that kind of money to start having $100,000 months. And that's what a lot of you might not have realized, but if you look at the people making a lot of money in this niche, that's what they understand. It's not about getting a whole bunch of customers, it's simply about going deep with the customers that you do have, finding lots of additional ways that you can help them. But anyway, we go out there and we get 60 customers. They buy our $47 product. We make about $3,000. Not a whole lot. In fact, that barely pays for our advertising. But we offer them an additional program, an upsell. $300. 1 out of 4 of them says, hey, yes, I want that. And they buy it. There's another $4,500. Okay, a little bit extra. We offer them a continuity program. So like for me, I have my inner circle, $97 per month. 30 of them say, yes, I'm in. There's $3,000 per month. We go back to those customers and we say, look, we have this additional program that's going to help you get X, Y, Z in your business. And 11 of them say yes. It's $2,400. $26,400. We then cross-sell them into another high-ticket program. We say, look, this other program will help you get results in this program. This is how we do it. And keep in mind, we actually are providing them value, because if you don't provide true value, they're not going to keep on investing with you, right? They'll buy your first product and they'll think, oh, this is shit, and then they'll just go and they'll never invest with you again, right? So you've actually got to give them some good value. I'm serious. Now, out of those 60, 4 of them say, look, I want to take this all the way. I want to go on your top coaching program. I know it's $6,000, but I want to work one-on-one with you, so I'm in. 4 of them say yes. There's another $24,000. We're at $87,000 per month now. Does anyone know how much you need to be making per month to make $1 million per year in this business? $84,000. If you're making $84,000, and that's a number worth writing down just for your own reference. If you're making $84,000 per month in this business, now you're operating $1 million business. So it's a good little target to aim for. Those in the MOB license rights program, this is essentially what they get. They get my entire funnel that they can promote like this. All the different products at all the different price points. I want to ask you a question. What is actually harder? I think I got this wrong, right? If you want to make $100,000 in this business, and you've got 2 choices. You can sell 10,000 ebooks at $10 each, or you can sell 10 coaching programs at $10,000 each. What's harder to make $100,000? Here's an ebook. This is one of my ebooks, right? I Am Revolution, $10. What's harder? If I go and sell 10,000 of these at $10 each, I'll make $100,000. Or is it easier to find 10 customers at $10,000 each? 10,000 customers or 10 customers? The 10 customers, of course, right? It's a harder, it's a more like involved decision to invest at that level, but it's worth it. You have 10 customers to deal with. Imagine from a customer support perspective, is it easier dealing with 10 or 10,000 customers? 10,000 customers, you trust me, right? That's a lot of support. You're going to have to hire someone for that full time. My point is, having your own high-ticket program, this is essential. You need one. All of you have one thing that you can offer, and that's your time, right? Your time. You can offer your time for a premium price. So don't tell me you can't offer a high-ticket program. You can. You can offer your time, right? They get 3 one-hour sessions with you per week for 10 weeks, and you charge $5,000 with that. You start scaling up, you start charging a lot more. But every single one of you could offer something like that. You can offer some done-for-you service where you build them a blog, or you build them something, right? That's what people truly want in this industry. They don't want to do the work. You offer them a done-for-you service and they will pay you premium prices. Or, my favorite, you license someone else's high-ticket program. Save yourself doing all the work, license someone else's. Is this, are you guys actually getting some value from this? All right, good. So, this one thing, you're going to hear this and you're going to think like, whatever, that's not that exciting. But this one thing alone, this is what keeps us scaling so quickly. Month after month, we keep on smashing our top income record. People ask me, how do you do it? It's simply this. Trust me, if you start doing this, your income, you do this every single month, 1 year from now, you're going to be making 10, 20, 30, 50 times what you're making right now. And that's the idea of having daily targets and actually knowing what your numbers are. I know exactly what my numbers are. If you start measuring exactly what your daily sales are, they will start going up. What gets measured gets managed. You start measuring this stuff and it will magically go up. What I want you to do is to write down Seriously, how much would you like to make in the next 12 months? Write that down right now. And then from that, work out how much would you need to make per month to do that. Divide it by 12. So for example, my big goal is to get to $20 million by the end of 2013. That's our goal. We need to be doing $45,600 per day from this point out. We've done about 1.8 million this year. We've just got some momentum behind us. And we are going to do that. Not straight away, but we will scale up. That's the goal. But I actually know what I need to be making per day in order to achieve that. Most people have no idea. So it's no wonder that they're not doing that well, right? You've got to actually know what you need to be doing. This is what I see when I log into my shopping cart every single day. And I do this, look, I do this about 15 times a day. Not to just look at my numbers, but just because my shopping cart, my email autoresponder, it's where I run my whole business from. That's where my list is, my main assets. So I log into it pretty often. As soon as I log into it, this is what I see in front of me every single day. Monthly payments collected. I see today's position. I know exactly how many sales we've made today. And I keep a very close eye on our monthly income. So if we get to the 15th of the month, and we're at, like right as of today, let's say we're at $130,000, I know we've got to pick up the pace because our record is 315. That means that, see, my goal every single month, I have one simple goal. My goal is to beat my record. That's how I keep on scaling. I do $200,000 a month. Next month I want to beat it. And I keep on doing that. I compete against myself and I make sure I keep on beating it month after month. But if my record is $200,000 per month, I want to get to 300, I work out, okay, look, to do 300, I've got 30 days in the month. I need to be doing $10,000 per day. So if we get to day 3 and I'm at $25,000, I'm $5,000 behind my target. That means on day 4, I'm going to have a $15,000 day. See, I'm actually aware of this. Most people aren't aware of it. And some people might say, well, Matt, that's great for you. You've got sales, but what if I've got nothing? What if I'm not making sales? Then you especially should be watching your numbers. See, if you're making nothing right now, or you're making like a couple $100 per month, that's easy. Next month, your target is to simply beat that. You made $300 per month, or $300 last month, go for $500 next month. But actually be aware of it, right? You've got to be measuring it, because if you're not measuring it, you're not going to make progress. Most people, they don't measure it, right? They're not aware of where their business is at. You should see my dashboard. I've got like a whole bunch of stats. I know exactly how many leads we got that day, exactly how many sales. I'm very aware of the numbers, right? And trust me, you start being aware of your own numbers, it will magically go up. Your list. As of today, we're at about 108,000 subscribers. Now, in this niche, just so you know for your own reference, you're not going to keep them all, right? People get started in the home business industry and they quit a week later. So a third of them over time can disappear. So of that 108,000, I would probably have like 60 or 70,000 who are active. The rest unsubscribe. So don't be afraid of unsubscriptions. Now,